Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Peter Truick and I'm a UK-based physiotherapist. I work mainly with musculoskeletal and sports injuries. Today we'll be discussing none other than Sam Sulek. For those of you who think Sam is just some meathead who enjoys going to the gym and throwing weights around, you are highly mistaken. Sam is very intelligent, and if we look carefully at what he is doing, we can see him implementing multiple techniques, all of which have been shown to increase hypertrophy. I decided to take Sam's approach and muscle building techniques into each of my workouts over the next 30 days. His 8-day split is brilliant and he's hitting all his muscle groups multiple times a week. I really enjoyed it and I would recommend you give it a go. However, due to my work commitments, I had to go back to the push-pull leg split. Now, I really enjoyed having an arm day. This took me back to the good old days of the bro split. It might just have to sneak its way back into my current workout routine. Can anyone actually copy Sam? I tried, and trust me, only Sam can train like Sam. He's constantly changing exercises and number of sets. This can come across as mindless, but I'm telling you, it is not. Let's take a look at Sam doing lat pull downs. He isn't getting the lat pump he wants, so he's up after one set and he's on to the next exercise. If we look closely, we can see why. Sam is utilizing momentum from his mid-traps, lower traps and rhomboids to assist the lats and teres major. The lats have very little to do with the shoulder blade or scapula, and if we want to get them contracting, we need to be moving our arms around a stabilized scapula. Sam felt this and changed it up, showing good body awareness and maturity in terms of training. Now, there could just be a hidden gem in doing this exercise in this manner, but we'll discuss that later on. For the beginners out there, I don't expect you to be able to pick up on this, and your body awareness won't be that of an experienced lifter. Instead, try lowering the weight slightly, stabilizing through the scapula, locking it in position, and then moving your arms around the stabilized shoulder joint. Now, this does not mean you won't be training as hard. You can still load the plates up. And once you reach that more isolated failure, you can start using the scapular movement to create momentum to push the last few reps out. And Sam goes beyond failure, working into the stretch range of the rep and doing partials. This is one of the elements that lifts Sam above the mainstream. He pushes these partials well past failure on every set. I think this is brilliant, and after implementing it, I will continue to do so. Here's an example of me doing lat pull downs incorrectly, where you can see my shoulder blades going up towards my ears and pulling down. Now you see me pull my shoulder blades back and down, lock them in position, stabilizing the joint and moving my arms around that stable shoulder. Then once you've done as many reps as you can like that and you start to fatigue, you can allow your shoulder blades to rise up towards your ears and initiate the movement with a downward pull of the scapula, creating that momentum that we spoke about. Then once you fatigue even further and you can no longer get a full rep in, then you can do partial ranges to end off the set. Now, a stretch range partial or a contracted partial, which is better? Take a look at this bicep curl. We go from a straight arm position, the biceps in a stretch position, to a bent position where the biceps are in a shortened position. Once you reach failure, you can do partials at the bottom or stretched position to finish off the set. This technique has been known to increase hypertrophy when compared to full range of movement reps. So why do we not just do the entire workout in stretch partials? Well, firstly, the evidence base is new and there are no long-term studies addressing if the gains will continue to exceed those from full range of movement when the stretch partials are no longer a new stimulus. The second reason is the evidence does not address joint integrity and tendon loading. And the third reason is there is some conflicting evidence when it comes to different muscle groups, like the triceps. However, that evidence base is also looking at the position of the arm relative to the body, determining the stretch on the muscle. Now, this pretty much sums up using research. The answer is always, we are unsure and we need more evidence base. So do it, but don't do it. I know, really helpful, right? If you'd like me to make a more in-depth video on the matter, please drop a comment down below. I feel Sam does sacrifice form in order to lift more weight. A lot of us do. Here's an example of Sam doing extremely heavy bicep curls. As we can see, he's using momentum from his upper body and front delt compensation to get the weight up. Now, if we think about it, if he needs help from those compensation methods in order to complete the rep, his biceps and brachialis are most likely maxed out in terms of load, making this an extremely effective way of doing the bicep curl, the hidden gem I referred to earlier, and this can apply for all exercises. The downside of this is if the biceps were to take the full load of all that weight, he would more likely than not develop a niggle or an injury due to the fact that they are not designed to take that much load. Now, I'm not saying that all compensations and treat reps will lead to injury, far from it, but do keep it in mind when you're doing very heavy workouts. Another downside is more specific to bodybuilding. Bodybuilders aim to achieve symmetry and balance, making it very important to be able to isolate certain muscle groups. Sam often mentions his front delts are overdeveloped, and yes, they do get worked a lot in your chest pressing movements, and in this case his bicep curls, so much so that he personally doesn't isolate them much. Right, now I want to talk about legs. You know those two stick-like things most of us gym bros love to skip? Well, Sam is not one of these gym bros. He pushes his squats to failure. Yep, you heard me right, to failure, and he does them towards the middle or even the end of his workouts. Now, if you're like me, this is terrifying. I've never done this before, and like most of us, I always like to start my workouts with a squat, put as much weight on as I can. Yes, we do love to ego lift at some point. I highly recommend not doing this and doing it the way Sam does. Start off on the Smith machine with the safety catches in position, and when you fail, you just unfold under the bar and crawl out on the other end. Now, once you've done this a few times, and you've got more confidence, you can take it over to the bar, but make sure you have the safety rails in place and set above your failing point, even if this takes an inch or two from your range of movement. I also like that Sam does decline squats. EMG studies have shown that the decline squat loads the patella tendon the most, thus loading the quadriceps the most. Speaking of knee loading, the dreaded sissy squat. Yes, Sam does sissy squats, and for all of those people saying it's terrible, I side with Sam on this one. If you can do them 100% pain-free, it means your lower limb biomechanics are sound, and I would highly recommend doing them in order to bulletproof your knees. However, if on the other hand you do get pain when doing them, stop immediately. This means there's an underlying issue, and I highly recommend getting your biomechanics checked. If you'd like a video discussing the importance of lower limb biomechanics for your knees, let me know down in the comments below. I've recently recovered from a grade 3 AC joint strain, and during rehab I found myself not pushing as hard in the gym. Luckily, I came across Sam's channel in October last year, roughly when I was able to start training hard again. Well, everything except the dreaded dip, which I still can't do properly, but that's a story for another day. Now, I always thought I trained hard, but let me tell you, I did not know what training hard was until I saw Sam Sulek. He inspired me to train harder than ever before and reignited my passion for pushing the limits. Now, doing so without any additional supplements, I burn out extremely quickly, and working to beyond failure on every set, I could not spend more than 30 minutes in the gym. I had to knock it down a notch to make it work for me, and I've built up to doing 2/3 of my sets to failure so far. Let's be real, you and I would both aspire to have Sam's physique. Now, Sam could use any techniques with any split and he will see epic results. Sam's a genetic freak when it comes to building muscle. You could eat like Sam, train like Sam, use Sam's stack, and I can guarantee you, you will not look like Sam, and nor will I. It is important to be happy with the way you look in the mirror. Now, you can always aspire to better your own physique, but do not compare yourself to the 0.01% with elite genetics. We are just mere mortals, but with consistency and hard work, we can still improve on where we are today. If you haven't already, go give Sam a watch. You could definitely learn a thing or two from him. Now, I don't feel it is necessary to copy him to the T, but take the elements you like and make them your own. If you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button down below and stick around for the next one. Remember, in order to build muscle, you need to be in the gym. Stay consistent, push the limits, and the results will come.